The Crystal Crux by author Alan M. Warner. Book 3, Cold Night. Read by author Alan M. Warner. Prologue. Once the royal coach, drawn forward by a powerful team of all black horses, cleared Parthenope's southernmost gate, Michaela Pinto emerged from darkness. She tossed back the hood of her overprotective cape and chanced a glance out the window on the door, peeking beneath the dark red curtain. It was nearly midnight, and the coach she rode in was rushing with haste over a cliff above the Bay of Naples. A full and hearty moon was managing to pick its way through a husky bank of dark and heavy clouds. They looked poised to conquer and shed their reins soon. Michaela Pinto had journeyed south on several occasions. She knew if she were to lean the other way and poke her pointed nose out the velvety curtain on the other side of the coach, she'd see the black foreboding mountain of Vesuvius rising like a god over the land. Confident the most harrowing part of the escapade was concluded, she relaxed, inhaling what seemed to be her first deep breath in an hour. This was nerve-wracking, the most thrilling adventure of her life. Dangerous, too, she thought or imagined, still unsure which it was, uncertain what her task actually was. Lady B was so secretive. Michaela Pinto was absolutely terrified when Bertina Fabro summoned her to her private quarters. Everyone knew the woman was mad. Since the healing, an unnatural biblicesque reanimation from a crippling stroke suffered during childbirth, Lady B appeared to be completely insane, deranged. She was treacherous as sin, whispering to herself, staring at people with wild and crazy eyes, fiddling her fingers as if weaving spells, conversing openly and proudly with the disembodied, reading people's private thoughts, physically assaulting people, breaking mirrors and other shiny objects. There was a time when Lady B was beautiful and the envy of every woman at court. The stroke had been devastating. Her appearance had soured, as did her countenance. She was frightfully hideous, having lost nearly all her hair and teeth, skin white and pasty. The illness had sapped her loveliness, and she was vengeful and angry. The bitch, Michaela Pinto thought with guarded tentativeness, fearful her mind was being read, even in this coach, even now, a mile or two from the city. The bitch ordered the beheading of 6 girls, for God's sake. Who does that? There was just cause, of course, if the accusations against them were true, but Lady B was mad. It seemed unfair, but the fact that unfair didn't seem to matter was precisely why everyone at court shunned and avoided Lady Bertina. Even her own husband, Gerardus Fabro, the second son of Tancred and Melior Fabro, and Castellan of the great city. Gerardus Fabro had once faithfully doted over his wife. He and Lady B were the talk of the city. Minstrels sang songs about them and their love for one another. Now the poor devil couldn't stand to look at his bride. He avoided her. Michaela knew better the truth of this than any other woman at court. Michaela Pinto had been having an affair with the robust, handsome, black-haired Castellan for nearly a year now. It started a few months after the stroke. Michaela didn't go in looking for an affair with the Castellan, but no one expected the good woman to recover either, and there was gossip that Gerardus Fabro was planning for the worst and preparing his mind to wed again. Why not me? Michaela thought proudly. Why not me? Michaela Pinto had been just one of several women selected to attend to the daily cares of the new prince, Gerardus and Bertina's infant son, Talento. Michaela's life had been rather tragic in previous years. She was widowed a year's past, and even before that occurred, a fire swept through their home and took the lives of their 2 young boys. It badly scalded the only remaining child, a daughter named Issa. Has she been reading my mind? Michaela wondered before arriving at Bertina Fabro's door. Has she been reading her husband's mind? Does she know about us? About the affair? Will I lose my head over this, or be exiled? Which would be worse? During their private audience, however, Bertina Fabro made no allusions to the clandestine affair Michelaea was having with Gerardus, treating Michelaea with syrupy kindness and surprising soundness, displaying a regal dignity wholly unexpected, a gentleness most undeserved. "I'm fucking your husband," Michelaea couldn't help thinking in the woman's presence, staring hard into that doughy white face. "And you don't know, do you? You are not so scary after all. You can't read minds." Michelaea thought it, but still didn't believe it. Superstitions die slow. The royal coach took a sharp turn, and Michelaea leaned a bit further right in the coach seat, nearly sliding, hearing the fiery horses whinny, the driver cracking his whip with abandon. Michelaea was alone in the cab. She regretted leaving poor Issa behind, but the affairs of state took precedent over everyone's family, and she'd see her only child soon enough. 10-year-old Issa was coming to terms with her deformity, the repulsive scars on her face, arms, and torso. Issa was unsightly indeed, something only a mother's love could look upon without flinching. Michelaea told her daughter lies. She told Issa that she was beautiful and could still lead a good and happy life. Of course, in the current climate, that was impossible. But why break the poor dear's heart telling her things that would only make her feel more hopeless? Sometimes it's better not to know a thing until it is sprung upon you. "Down the Amalfi coast to Sorrento you will go, Michelaea," Lady Fabro had commanded, handing the young woman a few coins of silver in a sealed envelope. The envelope had been sealed with an iris, the mark of Lady Meliore. "Understand, this undertaking is not to please me. You go with the blessings of her ladyship, Meliore Fabro. This journey you make is done so by her request. A royal coach has been outfitted in the stables. You are to inform no one about any of this, not even your child. No one. Gather a few things and go." Michelaea couldn't guard against her hesitation, but Lady B was so good-naturedly sympathetic. She reached out and laid a surprisingly warm hand over hers. "I assure you, Michelaea, your daughter shall be cared for in your absence. Just remain anonymous until the coach reaches Sorrento. Then, and only then, open this envelope and read the contents." Bertina patted the packet already in Michelaea's possession. "You will find further instructions inside." Further instructions inside. The coach careened through another sharp turn, over yet another dangerously narrow cliff, as Michelaea delved into a pocket and retrieved the sealed envelope. Taking a deep breath, looking left and right as if there might be other eyes in the cab, Michelaea slid her finger through the seal and broke it. Realizing there was not enough light to read by, she drew back and tied open the curtain facing the sea. The full moon was still avoiding the dark clouds and provided sufficient light. Michelaea read the script on the outside of the envelope. "In nome Dei et Domine Nostre Jesu Christe." In the name of God and our Lord Jesus Christ. With a small smile, growing wider by the second, she removed the letter before its time and leaned a bit closer to the door and moonlight. The letter read, "To the good woman unto whom this task has fallen, I, Meliore Fabro, primo domine of Parthenope, honored file of House Lettre, custodius et iris nigrum omnibrum, graciously thank you for your service. Be of good cheer, my lady, for you have been selected from many to play a most important role in a harmless game of deception. This is a game I have chosen to play with my dear and loving husband, the Lord Commander of Parthenope, Tancred Fabro. Unbeknownst to all, I will return prematurely from my holiday in Melfi. I wish to keep my re-entry into the city a confidential matter. I'll not confess any more the reasons why I do this. Suffice to say, one woman to another, this spontaneity should be obvious. Enjoy your leisure in Sorrento. Spend the coins I have provided liberally and impulsively. Upon your return to Parthenope in 1 week's time, I will call on you, and we shall break bread and become fast friends. My heart is indebted. I shall not forget your kindness and value in this, my adventure. It was signed artfully, Meliore Fabro. Michelea Pinto smiled as she folded the letter slowly and neatly and placed it back inside the envelope. She laid her head back against the plush padded headrest before glancing out towards the sea. This was a blessing indeed. There were no great intrigues, no evil deceptions at work. She wasn't becoming part of some unholy, dangerous plot. This was just a harmless game, a wife surprising her husband, and Michelea was receiving a well-deserved holiday for it. A paid holiday. I wonder if my lady will still think kindly of me and want to be my friend when she learns I am sleeping with her wedded son. A mysterious howling sound, mean and otherworldly, nothing like that of a common wolf, shrilled through the warm night air, spooking the horses. Michelea felt the coach bump and suddenly buck, as if something large landed on it. She heard the driver issuing desperate commands, screaming as if his life depended on it. Why is he screaming? What's going on? The driver's whip was cracking faster and faster, and not in the direction of the horses. There was a certain sound to it, and it was telling. The sure and steady coach rollicked as if it were acting out in self-defense. Michelea was inspired to lean out the open window and assess the situation, when a spectral being, a dark humanoid figure composed mostly of smoke and mist, sailed up into the open space before her. His hands and his fingers clutched onto the wood door as if the coach were not even moving, his body hovering and gliding, yet motionless. The smog shadowed the moon with its evil presence, and the cab got darker. It leered at Michelea without revealing any eyes. She felt it seeping into her soul. As the thing crawled in, Michelea slapped at it, trying to scratch and tear at its face. Her hand went straight through the formless head, inflicting no damage. And still it advanced. Michelea screamed as if her life depended on it. The thing sprung upon her.